Yes, hormones for her. So, Nikki, you want to start us off?
Do you want to kick it to the next screen?
Yep. Yes, I do.
Okay, you guys, like endocrine system is pretty extensive. And I did a Zoom on this one time and I went like way into a ton of details, which is like interesting to me, but really more than you really need. But like you have endocrine system that's made up of multiple parts in your body from like head to toe. Chemical responses regulating metabolism, growth, and development. If anybody's ever told your kids they might need the growth hormone, don't do it, but they say that. Tissue function, sexual function, reproduction, sleep, mood. We talk most about which one of these?
Oh, are you asking me?
Yeah.
Our mood?
Well, most people, when they talk to me about hormones, are talking to me about reproductive health, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like they usually we think about the sex hormones a lot, progesterone and estrogen, and we know that when you get older, you need some, but there are so many different hormones and so many things in your body that is controlled by them.
Yes, and actually, women have both estrogen and progesterone, and so do men. And our body is constantly trying to be in homeostasis or balancing all of these different chemicals, our hormones, so that we are in balance. And let me go to the next one.
We have testosterone too, women.
Yes. So when these chemical responses or your hormones become not balanced, imbalanced, then you know that it can cause all kinds of havoc on your body. And these imbalances can come about, due to poor diet and stress and your food choices, not getting enough sleep, or synthetic hormones, which is really a big deal once you are going into that menopause phase of your life. A lot of doctors want to automatically prescribe a synthetic hormone, and that can cause even more havoc and not help you go through that very natural phase, very natural phase of life. So when these hormones are all thrown out of whack, it can lead to migraines, insomnia, and hot flashes and mood swings. And of course, that does not fare well for you or your family. And the good news is that
stress and insomnia and mood alone is enough to make you
it makes you feel crazy,
But people don't know that's hormones. Like when I'm asking what people want help with, very few people say hormones, and I'm like, trust me, you do. You want help with your hormones.
It's so important for all women, even girls who are just starting their cycle all the way through menopause. It's something that we, go through, in every phase of our life, every phase of our development. And research has said that almost 43%, so almost 50% of women say hormones have negatively affected their overall well-being.
And I would say it's probably higher because they think they have a mood problem or a stress problem or a fat around the belly problem or something, and they don't know that it's hormones.
Right, because all of those things lead back to your hormone regulation. So it's like if you can, pinpoint and work on your hormones, a lot of those other things that you're struggling with may definitely fall into place. And the good news is that Young Living has amazing products that we can use that are naturally going to help get your hormones regulated.
This is like, before you go into that, like this, having two girls, this, like, it literally brings me to tears every time I talk to people about hormones and how we have these oils to help us. Like, first of all, I hope my kids stay healthier than I did, because they're going to avoid all the stuff that's in personal care products and stuff that I used for like 30 years, right? And then second of all, the trajectory of my life would be completely changed if someone had handed me Dragon Time, which I'm getting ahead, we'll go that in a minute, like when I was 20 years old, instead of synthetic birth control to control my cramps. Like, crazy, crazy blessing.
You know, when I first started my cycle and through my teen years into adulthood, I did not have problems with my cycle specifically. But now that I'm post childbearing years, I mean, well, I guess I'm still in those childbearing years, but I'm done having children and I'm creeping up to 40. I know that my body is going through some hormonal changes. Now it's time for me to really reevaluate how I'm taking care of myself and what I need to do differently to move into this next phase of my life. Because I have seen a lot of those symptoms that I haven't seen previously. And I just know that as I'm getting into this next phase of my life, then it is most likely 100% my hormones. So I'm really excited to be learning about this, and I know we'll talk about your group at the end, but this is something that I'm really focusing on. So, Nikki, start us off with what is like the first things we can do, no matter what stage we're in. What can we take that every woman should be taking to start, this working on your hormones?
So it's no secret that for like from 36 to 39-ish, I was diving into hormone health to try to have a second baby, because I struggled with secondary infertility. It was a me thing. When the doctor's like, yeah, it's you, it's not him. You're like, oh, fun times. But anyway, I started extensively researching, really got into the book Taming the Dragon, which I think is like a really great place to start, because it tells you, like Megan said, where to start for every person, like literally the top of your endocrine system and then moving down, and then what other symptoms you have left. It will help direct you to something specific to your needs. What comes up over and over and over is Super B and one other thing. So those are the two things. If you join my hormone group, which we'll talk about at the end, we're going to do together for 21 days and then see how we feel. And I will help you figure out what should be the next like step for you. But Super B is a no-brainer for almost every woman, and it's definitely not going to hurt you. It is a supplement that everybody takes and feels a difference. Like I have to swallow my cardio J's and go, okay, yeah, I want to work on my health, because heart health is like the #1 killer of women, but I don't feel anything, right? Like I just take it and due diligence, knowing that I need to take care of my heart. But this you feel. I take 2 every morning. I took a 3rd one this afternoon, because if you saw my stories this week, like all of us in Texas are suffering from adrenal fatigue from living on adrenaline for a week, literally trying to keep our people alive. And then that adrenaline crashed and we're all like exhausted. Y'all don't even know what crazy things I did today. I left my purse by the giraffes at the zoo and just walked off, like crazy, insane things, because I'm just not quite right yet. But Super B is going to nourish your adrenals and your entire endocrine system. Adrenals are crashing for all of us who say we need energy. Drinking coffee doesn't help. I need to really stop that, because it brings you up and then crashes you down and keeps you in a perpetual state of adrenal fatigue. But just being moody, lacking energy, Super B is like one of the first things that anything you're going to read is going to say is like, nourish your body with B supplements. Tell us why this one is different than other B supplements.
Well, it has all 8 essential B vitamins, but it also has essential oils in it. Mm-hmm. So it really help you maintain your healthy energy level. It helps support your mood, your cardiovascular system, and your cognitive function.
Essential oils make supplements more bioavailable,
so that your body can absorb them easier, which is amazing. They work really well together, and it really helps your body absorb them. But a lot of times, B vitamins that are combined at once in the stomach can cause fermentation, resulting in an upset stomach. But to avoid this, Young Living Super B uses a special formulation process to isolate the various vitamins so that they are released at different times. So that's one thing that really sets our Super B apart. And
if I'm not wrong, it has biotin in it.
Wow.
Which we know is like good for hair and skin and nails.
Yeah, so it's not only going to help support your hair, skin, nails, but of course it also gives you that cellular energy. And I mean, who does not need more energy?
I need it for the mood support alone. Drew and I kind of joke that this is bad, but without my Super B, I can be a Super B.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There's 2 things I'm allowed to overnight ship if I run out, and this is one of them. The other one's coming up later in the slideshow.
Because I can immediately feel that. I mean, you don't like feel that boost of energy, but instead of me,
I do.
Like tired or kind of like that lazy, like not wanting to do, unmotivated,
happy, energetic.
And we're happy and get things done. I cannot tell you how many drawers and closets I cleaned out this past weekend.
So Leslie has some major before and after iron level tests for her blood, showing a huge difference with Super B as well. So okay, the other one that we're going to start with in my little coach group is Endoflex, because Taming the Dragon cannot stop talking about Endoflex. It is like, you must start here. Don't jump ahead saying you have thyroid problems. Don't jump ahead to this. You start here, like Endoflex, like it beats that drum, because this is supporting every part of your endocrine system. Like this is going to help even you out so that you can figure out if you need something else. But like this gives me energy too, helps me feel better. After reading Taming the Dragon, I stopped using it topically and started using it internally, because they are big on using it internally. I still think it has great value topically. I did it for years and could feel a difference, but I feel a big difference.
I have the roller top on mine. I roll it on my thyroid. I love the way that it smells too.
I did adrenal glands because I knew I was suffering for adrenal fatigue, which are like the base of if you hug yourself around the lower waist, you're patting your adrenal glands in your lower back. And so I rolled it there for years, and I probably could do both because I really did like that. But internally, the only problem with internally is I sometimes forget it because I can't put it in my pill container thingy that I have for like the days of the week. So I have to remember to fill it in the mornings. But
so how do you take it internally? Do you put it in a capsule or do you just drop it on your tongue? What?
It kind of tastes gross to me. Like it's not the worst. So, but I tried because I thought, I could do that under my tongue, but I couldn't. I could probably put it in my Ninja and put it down, but I put 2 drops in a veggie capsule and swallow it.
Do you make your veggie capsules ahead of time, or do you make them at like the time of use?
I make it the time of use, but you can, and I have been all like organized and done that before, and put them in the freezer. Yeah. But most of the time I just drop it. I did that with LLP for years. Like I just dripped it in there in the morning and moved on. It's not that hard, but.
So Endoflex is a blend of 6 oils, and it has spearmint, which is probably why I love the smell of it, which spearmint helps increase your metabolism. And it has hormone-like properties so that it supports your nervous and glandular system. And it also has sage.
That's a big hormone oil.
And it helps strengthen the vital energy centers of your body, which allows our bodies to function at their highest level. And then it also has geranium, which is a huge hormone balancing oil. Myrtle also helps balance irregular hormones.
Huge hormone oil.
And your ovaries. And it also has German chamomile that helps protect your liver.
Which is where your hormones are made. And if your liver is not clean, then it doesn't make good hormones. So like I'm hearing that this literally covers every single part of your endocrine system. That's why everybody wants you to start there.
Yeah, it's a huge hitter for all the hormones. And then nutmeg especially supports adrenal glands, which like Nikki said earlier, that really helps with adrenal fatigue. And
that's the oil in Super B.
Give yourself a hug and put it topically on your backside where your adrenals are.
Or your thyroid, if you know you have thyroid problems, just get it on.
Yeah. So if you're going to use it topically, apply it over your lower back, your thyroid, your kidneys, or your adrenal glands. If you're going to use it internally, put a couple drops in the veggie capsule.
Or put it in your Ningxia. I might try that tomorrow and see if that's okay.
All right, you'll have to report back and tell us if it's okay to get down.
Just dripping it under your tongue, I do not recommend.
But it smells good. You're saying it doesn't taste good?
Have you ever tried nutmeg oil by itself?
No, I don't think so.
It's not good.
That's a really strong one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the other one that we recommend that every woman start with is Progessence Plus. And we have done a whole class on Progessence Plus alone. There's so much information, and we can link some of it in the comments here. And there's a very good video by Dr. Hagerton. He explains it really well. But this is
the other one I'm allowed to overnight.
This is like every woman from as soon as she's starts her cycle until
So like real quick, I will condense what Taming the Dragon says, because they back up that this really is for every single woman. Like you can go ahead and get your Endoflex and your Super B and your Progessence Plus and start here, or maybe do the Endoflex and Super B for a little bit and then start the Progessence Plus, just so you know how you're feeling, because both are going to change your feelings really quickly.
I'm completely new to this. I agree. Like add one thing in
at a time.
Don't go all.
So the Progessence Plus, the short of it, the reason why it's for every woman, not just people who've tested lower in progesterone. Like we all know our progesterone wanes with time. Like it starts dropping off with the years. That's what's happening as you approach 40. But we live in an estrogen dominant society because of zytoestrogens. So there are plant-based estrogens like this that come from the wild yam, and then we have our natural estrogens we make in our body, and then there are chemical forms of estrogen. And we're not just talking about estrogen pills that your doctor gives you that are synthetic. Zytoestrogens live in plastic, chemicals that are used in personal care products, in your laundry detergent, your makeups, like everything that we eat, everything that you're exposed to, everything that you put on your body. So we live in an estrogen dominant society because all of those toxins work like an estrogen. So we have too much. That's why everybody needs more progesterone. But the worst thing that it does, not just that it makes us unbalanced, like Megan was saying, we fight to stay in balance, but those zytoestrogens clog up our estrogen receptors and our progesterone receptors in our body, and won't let hormones in. So even if you're making them, they're not getting in where they're supposed to go. Even if you're like trying to take them, they're not getting in, because years of using those products that have zytoestrogens in it is clogging up those like keyholes. So Progessence Plus can clean the receptors and clean those zytoestrogens out and get those open, so that your natural estrogen and your natural progesterone, and then the progesterone and Progessence Plus can get in those, and they can stop being clogged up. So that's why every person needs it, even if they're not known for being lacking in progesterone. We all need to cleanse those receptor sites from the things, even though we all try really hard since we've been with Young Living for the last 7 years to stay away from those toxins. They're still in the air we breathe, sometimes in the food we eat, they're in our water. Like, it's hard to stay away from it completely.
I love this. It's not exactly an essential oil. It's a serum. So you can apply it topically to like the insides of your wrists, uh, the inside of your thigh. And I learned that it's best to kind of change up where you are applying it and not apply it in the same place like 2 days in a row, which I thought was interesting. But it's like Nikki said, it's made up of the wild yam complex, which is natural progesterone. It also has vitamin E, which is an antioxidant, and the essential oils peppermint, copaiba, frankincense, bergamot, clove, cedarwood, and rosewood. And it also has coconut oil in it. And of course, this is better than any progesterone cream on the market because it obviously does not have any synthetic. It's completely natural with the wild yam. And of course, since it has essential oils, it helps absorb much at a much higher rate.
I like it on my neck. I didn't really.
The neck, yeah.
There's an artery like in your neck, but I put it on my wrist and then I just kind of rub it down. So it's kind of.
Because it does smell very lovely, and a lot of women use it as just like a natural perfume. So
I've even heard it's really good for skin. Some people are applying a drop or two on their face at night.
Wow.
So if you want to switch it up, you could try it on your face. And this evened me out. I took those birth control to get on a regular cycle and get rid of cramps. And when I went off birth control, I went on to Progestins Plus. I stayed on a super regular cycle, no cramps. Like, it regulated me the same way birth control pills did. So that is another awesome one that I am so glad to have for my girls when they start all the craziness. If they start the terrible cramps at 16 that I did, I'm going to put them on the Progestins Plus and put a bottle of
them on
Dragon Time. And instead of birth control, yeah, I'm going to give them the Progestins Plus and a bottle of Dragon Time. Yeah. And we'll move on.
Well, once you have those 3 items like in your routine and you're using those, if you need additional support, then these are some supplements worth considering. Up first is Thyromin. Thyromin helps maximize nutritional support for healthy thyroid function. I think it's a good idea, like, to make sure you have some tests done to see if your thyroid is low or high, or if that needs to be, if you need help regulating that. Because the thyroid gland regulates your body's metabolism, energy, and body temperature. It controls calorie burning and even your heart rate. So we watch our boys very carefully because Phil's whole side of the family has thyroid issues and thyroid cancer. So thyroid is something that we definitely know a lot about, and we don't play around with it. So Thyromin is really good to be proactive with supporting your.
So there's a whole list in the book, Taming the Dragon, of the symptoms. So you would know if you were hypo or hyper and decide from there what you need to do. So like, after you've done the things we've talked about already, if you still have those symptoms, you can look them up in that book and see, okay, I need to go ahead and start taking Thyromin or not.
Yes, and we have more information about all of these individually, and you can look them up in your desk reference. And I have a great supplement book as well as Taming the Dragon. So of course, all of these contain different essential oils to help you absorb the supplement even better.
Cortistop is one that I am talking to people as they sign up for the coach group. and asking them if they've been going through a period of high stress. Because if they've been going through a period of high stress, I need them to start cortisol as well as the other two things that we're going to be using in our 21 days. Because if your body is in a period of high stress, it makes the stress hormone cortisol and it stops making everything else. Yeah. It's literally fight or flight. Your body is fighting to keep you alive. The acupuncturist like grabbed me and looked in my face when we were going through all the fertility stuff and said, you can take all the sex hormones that you want. You can use natural, you can use fake, you can do everything you want. But until you get your stress under control, your body will not accept any of those hormones because it is busy making cortisol.
Right. So if you've already, added those other things in and you're still feeling fatigue, difficulty maintaining a healthy weight, difficulty maintaining optimal health, and you're you're always feeling that constant stress, then yes, cortisol may be important to add into your routine, because
so it's not a thing you have to take for very long. That's the good news.
Right. It's not like
they say on the bottle to take it for however many days and then stop. So that's what I did at that time. And I can tell you, like, you will feel a difference in 5 minutes as your body, it literally blocks you from making cortisol. And I used it then when I was trying to get pregnant. And then I grabbed it again when we were going to Nevada to adopt Aubrey, because I was going to meet her birth mother and sit in the hospital in the delivery room with her and then wait all those days to see if she signed the paper and wait to come home. And I've never been so stressed in my entire life. So I took it during that period to stop my body from making cortisol so I wouldn't be feeling like out of control and insomnia and all the bad things.
It has fennel in it, which supports your so many different systems, your circulatory, glandular, respiratory, digestive.
Hormone.
Also helps support feelings of well-being during your menstrual cycle. So that's the time your stress levels, tend to get out of whack. Also peppermint, clary sage, and frankincense. So anything with frankincense is...
There's sacred frank in Progestins Plus. It's good stuff.
Then up next is Endogize.
So I went back and looked at my notes because I was telling Megan I get Endogize and Femigen a little confused. Taming the Dragon still left me not sure which one because I still felt like I needed something after I used the other things. And I ended up grabbing Femigen because it said for use during your baby making years, basically. And it was not good for me. It was too much hormones. I felt pregnant, like nauseous, bloating, hormonal, like your first trimester of pregnancy. And I had to stop. I talked to a few other friends that are like, I can only take it during my period and it makes my period better or whatever. That's when I realized this one's more about the sex hormones, right? The Femigen. And then the Endogize is more just to support your entire endocrine system. So once you've got the cortisol conquered, if that's a problem for you, and you're on the Super B and the Endoflex and the Progestins Plus, which most people are good at that point, but if you feel like you need something else, we can help you figure out whether you need Thiamin, Endogize, or Femigen.
So Endogize contains DHEA, which is the most common hormone in your body. Your body produces its own DHEA, but after age 20, production really starts to decline. So that means this is really helpful for aging women. You need this hormone because it's needed to produce over 50 other hormones, including estrogen. So think of all the things that older women commonly experience, or maybe you're experiencing them yourself. So if it's something that you're thinking that you might need, like to maintain your youthful health, this might be the one. Don't confuse the word common with normal, because just because something is common, like,
doesn't mean it's normal.
oh, that's just how everyone feels after they hit, such and such age. That doesn't mean that it's normal.
It's not normal to have to take estrogen just because you're older. It's not normal for your doctor to line you up and take out all your female parts just because you're past 40.
Yeah. It's not natural to get on synthetic hormones as soon as you go into menopause. Those might be very common in our society, but that's not normal. Endogize has clary sage, ginger, myrrh, cassia, lots of oils that help support many different systems in your body. And then the Fimogen.
We got a lot of noise on your microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. So Fimogen, like Nikki said, are for the women that are of childbearing age and want to give extra support to their lady parts.
I felt kind of good that taking it made me like, woo! I'm like, that means all the other things that I'm doing are working, because my body was like, hold on, girl. Why are you giving us so much progesterone right now? That means the other stuff's working. I have to admit that I've kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit, not with Super B. I'll never miss my Super B, but I went through a long period forgetting to take the EndoFlex. And there was like a couple of weeks in there, a few times when I have forgot to put Progestins Plus on my body at night because I just like pass out somewhere and forget. So I'm doing this coach group, which I'll talk about in a minute, as much for me as anything else, because I want to even out, like stay super consistent with friends, cheering each other on for 21 days, and then decide if I really think I need to go the Endogize route or if I'm okay, because I'm definitely feeling different.
Yeah.
At 40, and I might need to start the Endogize, but I'm not sure yet. So
yeah, that's one reason why I'm excited about doing it with you too, because I definitely need to be in a more consistent routine with all of these things. I'll take them really well sporadically.
Yeah.
But it's,
I used to not miss at all because it made me feel bad, but something about a 5-year-old and a 1.5-year-old to chase is making me forget all the things.
So here are some complementary oils that help during, for women, like during your cycle, or even if you're not cycling, but Dragon Time is perfect for that Dragon Time, which it doesn't have to be a Dragon Time if you're, very balanced hormonally. But if you are experiencing some PMS symptoms, then Dragon Time, excuse me, is very helpful. And I will say that I am a huge fan of the Dragon Time massage oil.
I've never had that, but every time I see it, I think of you.
I love it. It helps. It works so well.
I've had the same 15 ml Dragon Time for coming up on 7 years, because Progestins Plus fixed my cramps and mood so much that it's rare that I have to go get it. And I just go, it has a roller on it in my closet, and I go get it and roll it on my lower abdomen on the off month that I still have a cramp or two, and it knocks it out for me in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's great.
You have girls, you need this.
Yes, especially as they start going through puberty.
I think before my girls start their cycles, they might start this, because I know a lot of moms complaining about like their 12-year-old daughters being super moody.
Yes, because those premenstrual year or two, as their hormones are changing and they move into that puberty.
Yeah. It's not going to hurt them. It's not going to do anything bad for them. It is going to support their endocrine system. And all of those oils individually do other good things too. Like it is not going to hurt anything. If they start being moody in those preteen years, I'm going to be like, here's your personal perfume.
Yes. We will have to do the hormones for him class sometime, because I'm a mom of boys, and the moodiness, all of the things that we think are very common and normal for girls, the boys go through it as well. I mean, in a different in different ways. So we definitely need to talk about how to support hormones for boys so that mamas of boys can
teenager mom class, Megan.
Yes, because let me tell you, it's real up in here in these
teenage years. So the dragon time, I just remembered also, those who are past their menstrual years, a lot of them swear by using this for hot flashes.
That's awesome.
And Progestins Plus, there's people in the tribe that say Progestins Plus conquered their hot flashes. So still good hormone oils to have no matter what part of life you're in.
What about clary sage?
So that's a single that's in all the hormone blends. So I never have used it alone since I have it in so many other options. Have you used it alone?
I haven't, but I've heard that clary sage and Progestins Plus, like they work really well together. You know, to use one like while you're obviously like you're always in your menstrual cycle, you know, all 28-ish days, but there's a good time to use the clary sage by itself instead of the Progestins Plus, and it just helps you regulate it a little bit more. Yeah. And then Lady Scleral.
I'm a fan of that one.
What?
I'm a fan.
Oh yeah. Why are you a fan?
I need to be more consistent with this. Like, let's just say every year we run any sort of Valentine's class or girlfriend's guide class, I'm reminded why I need to use the Lady Scleral. I like to roll it inside my inner ankles. That's a big hormone point for women. But it like that has oils in it like clary sage that will help you make your own estrogen. And every time, I'm sure it does other things too, but every time we have one of those classes and it talks about boosting your libido, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be using the Lady Scleral. My husband likes me a lot more when I do.
Yes, it can be very alluring and seductive.
No, because it boosts my libido. That's why he likes it.
Right. Well, yes, that's what I mean. Like, not only for him, but for you, you feel,
yeah,
you feel more seductive.
Makes you feel more amorous. If you need help with that. Mm-hmm. Also can help boost your estrogen if you know you need that. Sklar Essence, I am not so sure specifically what it does different than Lady Scleral.
Let me get my notes and I will tell you. So Sclarescent supports overall wellness for women. It contains clary sage, peppermint, Spanish sage, and fennel to support digestion and reduce the occasional bloating that can be a common feeling during your menstrual cycle. So, and it's also beneficial for balancing your hormones. So you can add the vitality to your water,
okay,
or tea, or use it after you use the dragon time oil or the massage oil. But it's also as a dietary supplement daily with Master Formula, which is one of the vitamins that is good for just overall general well-being.
So Lila has scanned for Sclarescence repeatedly, and I have gotten it out when she's Zyto scanned for it and put it on her. It has far less oils in it than Lady Scleral and far less of like the intense boost your estrogen kind of oils. So I'm wondering if it wouldn't be okay probably for her even to use moodiness and such. Definitely not going to hurt her. But I mean, I don't want to boost her estrogen when she's 5. So I'm not going to put Lady Scleral on her, or I'm not going to put Progestins Plus on her yet. But when she scanned for Sclarescence, I didn't have any problem getting it out and putting it on her. I'm like, maybe we just got some moodiness, some crankiness today.
And that will bring us to your hormone coaching group that you are starting.
So I need to get dates back up. I will do that tomorrow, but I posted this in the tribe. It's in the announcements section of the tribe, and you can fill out the form and say that you were in. I pushed the dates back for 2 reasons. Super B was out of stock until this last week, and we had Snowmageddon in Texas this last week. So I'm going to start it in March. I'll get y'all exact dates on that, but fill out the form. You're going to need Super B and Endoflex. We're going to use both of those together for 21 days. It walks you through on the form if you need to also get cortisol, because like I said, if you're going through intense stress or you've been going through intense stress, the Super B and the Endoflex is not going to get you the desired results until you get that cortisol under control. So if you need to grab cortisol, you can take it at the same time that we're doing the Super B and the Endoflex. And it talks a little bit, I mean, we're going to talk a little bit during the 21 days too about Progestins Plus, because I feel like at the end of the 21 days, you're going to want Progestins Plus because it's good for all the women. But like we talked about, it'd be good to start one thing at a time. So that's going to go in March for 21 days. We are going to link arms together, take Super B and Endoflex, and talk about our endocrine systems in little bite-sized chunks. There's going to be a Zoom just for you guys to ask questions. And at the end, I am going to offer to help you make a plan I'm going to get out my Taming the Dragon book and offer to like look at it with you and say, okay, you're feeling way better, but you still have XYZ symptoms. Let's look it up in this book and figure out what would be a good next step for you now that you've spent 21 days consistently nourishing your endocrine system so your body could regulate itself. Because that is what all essential oils do for us, right? There's not a single oil that goes in there and does something to your body that it's not supposed to do. Like, it's all about giving your body what it needs. Like when we talk, with the exception of progesterone from a wild GM, that's progesterone. Like everything else, it's like, well, this oil will help you make estrogen. This oil will help you make melatonin. This oil will help regulate your endocrine system. Like wintergreen, like obviously that numbs us. Like that's another thought of something that just kind of does something to our body. But we're all about giving our bodies what it needs to regulate itself and work the way God intended. So at the end of the 21 days, you should know some natural lifestyle things you can do. You should feel better, and you should have a plan moving forward for a routine for your hormones. So that's the goal.
That's awesome. I can't wait for us to get started with that. And I think this is a huge topic for every woman, no matter how old you are, what season of life you are in. And Nikki is obviously super passionate about helping with hormones and making you feel better so that your body can be in that homeostasis. So I hope that this class was helpful for you to get a jump start on her coaching group. And if this is something that you are interested in working on for yourself, then
I could put the form in the comments, and I'll get with you guys tomorrow about the dates.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in. And if you have any other questions, then please put them down in the comments below and we will help you out. All right, thanks, Nikki, for doing this class with me, and we will see y'all next time in the tribe.